All right, let's turn now to Chris Voss. He is a former FBI lead international kidnapping negotiator, and his new book is called Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as if your life depended on it.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's first talk about that last nugget that Pamela Brown was talking about. I mean, it took a public outcry for the full 911 transcript, you know, where the shooter called 911. Came out. Initially, parts of it were redacted, and of course there's a lot of criticism over it. Why not just be transparent from the beginning? What was there to hide?
Well, it's not that they're hiding anything. It's really the fact that terrorism is about publicity. And he wants these names out there. He wants these oaths out there. I mean, otherwise he's a coward with a life that has no meaning. So they simply wanted to limit the amount of publicity and marketing that his group got. I mean, that's what terrorism is about.
But James Comey was out talking about it before the transcripts fully came out.
I know that was what the thinking would have been behind it. Now, it was probably a result of a compromise, which is usually a bad decision anyway.
Okay, you say they don't want to get publicity because there's 29 minutes of conversations which are summarized. There's no mention of the Boston bombers, the Tsarnaev brothers, which apparently he talked about. There's no mention of Mohammed Abu Salah, the American suicide bomber who went off to Syria. Why not put the audio out or the complete transcript? Because there is a lot of speculation out there, because they haven't done it, that now they're covering something up.
Right, well, that's what everybody worries about initially when they're slow to release information. I mean, they're trying to conduct a deliberate investigation here. They're trying to keep the investigation as clean as possible. I mean, they've got a massive murder investigation to make, and they got to make sure that they cover all the bases. So they're simply trying to be diligent about what they're doing. It's nothing nefarious about holding it back.
Well, but I mean, this was a 3-hour ordeal, you know, what happened inside that nightclub. When you look back, when you understand some of the details that happened during this massacre, what can we learn from it in terms of helping minimize the number of people killed?
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because a colleague of mine, Derek Gahn, actually pointed this out to me today. I mean, we've got a publication that comes out next week about what the negotiators did in the middle of this, and in the critical 28-minute time frame when the negotiators were engaged. What's really important about is the activity that was going on in that time frame. And the critical thing is that he wasn't killing. Now, that's what a negotiator's job is to do, is to come to these scenes and stop the killing if they can, and at least keep the subject distracted. Law enforcement brings two sorts of distraction devices to these scenes. One of them are flashbangs, and this is actually the other distraction device. This is why so many people get into accidents when they're driving. If we can get that guy to pick up the phone, then we've got him distracted, and there was no killing going on in this time frame. It buys important time for the SWAT people to get maybe a floor plan of the inside. I mean, this was a horrific place to try to assault.
So, sorry to interrupt, so that's all they were trying to do at that point, was to distract him? Because when people say that he was on the line, he was negotiating, you know, with law enforcement, it comes to mind that maybe they were trying to negotiate an end to this, but there was never going to be, you know, an end. You know, a peaceful end to this.
That's a tough job for the hostage negotiators, something they have to figure out from the very beginning, because they have to understand, is it my job to talk this guy out, or is it my job to talk him to a window for another reason, or to locate him specifically inside so that I can help SWAT make an entry? And that was what they were really after here.
Yeah, it's no doubt a really tough, pressure-filled job. I mean, you got to make decisions at the split second. We got to leave it there. Chris Voss, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me in.
Appreciate it. Thank you.